Welcome to the Kenya Snapshot, the day in a glance, your daily dive into the issues shaping law, justice, human rights, and society. It's August 31st, 2025, and here are the stories making headlines.
We begin with a historic court decision. After years of legal battles, the British Army has agreed to pay nearly $4 million to more than 7,700 Kenyans and an environmental group. The case stems from a devastating wildfire in 2021 during military training exercises in the Loldaiga Hills. While hailed as a landmark in holding foreign militaries accountable, many Kenyans are outraged. The compensation is meager, some victims receiving as little as £129, far below the initial demand of £500 million. This ruling has reignited calls to revisit the Defense Cooperation Agreement that governs Britain's military presence in Kenya. For many, this is not just about compensation, but about sovereignty, justice, and respect.
Meanwhile, grief and outrage continue to ripple through the nation as 32 more bodies were exhumed this week in the Shakahola starvation cult scandal. Linked to the deaths of over 400 people since 2023, this tragedy has become one of Kenya's darkest human rights crises. Families are still waiting for DNA results to identify missing loved ones. Activists argue that the government's response has been slow, inadequate, and dismissive of the lessons this disaster should teach us about regulation and protection. At its core, Shakahola exposes failures in state oversight of religious organizations, and the cost has been measured in human lives.
In the political arena, human rights activist Boniface Mwangi has announced his bid for the 2027 presidential elections. Known for fearless anti-corruption campaigns and bold civic activism, Mwangi says it's time to transform protest into political power. He faces legal challenges, including firearms-related charges he denies, and must still clear hurdles with the Electoral Commission. But his entry signals something larger, a generation of civic leaders shifting from the streets to the ballot. With President Ruto seeking re-election and other contenders already in the race, 2027 is shaping up to be one of Kenya's most contested elections.
Finally, a story stirring anger across social media. A video resurfaced showing a man pouring beer into the trunk of a wild elephant at Oljogi Conservancy. The footage, condemned by the Conservancy and now under investigation by the Kenya Wildlife Service, raises questions about tourism ethics and the enforcement of conservation laws. For many Kenyans, this is more than a viral scandal. It speaks to our responsibility toward wildlife, to treat conservation not as entertainment, but as a duty to future generations.
From foreign military accountability to tragic cult deaths, from activism's leap into politics to the fight for wildlife's dignity, today's stories reveal a Kenya in struggle and in transformation. The demand is clear: justice, accountability, and respect for life in all its forms. That's it for Kenya Today. I'm your host, James Mwangi, and I'll be back tomorrow with more stories shaping our nation's future.